Watch out, Magic the Gathering. After 30 years of being the leader in trading card games, with each year of the past God knows how long being years that achieved record-breaking sales and profit year after year, your time may finally be up, because a brand new Magic the Gathering killer card game is going to hit the market by storm and finally dethrone Big Jace. Oh, no, I'm not talking about Flesh and Blood, though they're actually doing pretty amazing themselves with a giant thriving competitive scene, live coverage with player feature matches, and a still rapidly expanding player base. But no, I mean Lorcana, Walt Disney's answer to Magic the Gathering. And you know, if it's an answer to Magic the Gathering, then that means there was a question that many Magic the Gathering players must have asked, apparently. And that is, will Disney's Lorcana trading card game, a game featuring Disney's vast vault of titles, from Star Wars to Mickey Mouse to Dog with a Blog, finally hit Hasbro where it hurts and topple the Magic the Gathering giant? No. Of course it will not. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. How many World of Warcraft killers actually killed World of Warcraft just by offering a similar yet pretty much inferior Memorpager? Answer, none. And as WoW teaches us, and to a similar extent Magic Arena, the only thing that will ever kill World of Warcraft is, wait for it, World of Warcraft. Just as the only thing that will ever kill Magic Arena is Magic Arena. And Disney's Lorcana is much more likely to fizzle than sizzle on the TCG scene. And I am here to explain to you why Magic the Gathering has nothing to fear from Disney's Lorcana. But first, a quick word about this video. This video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is once again backing the channel, and I couldn't be happier about it. I not only get to give you a credit for a free audiobook of your choice, but so much more. You know, audiobooks have helped me stay engaged with my favorite authors and up to date with their work. If I'm at home opening some packs, I'll also use Audible to put on a podcast to help pass the time. Or if I have to get to the office but still want to listen to my narrative, I can take it on the go with me. And you know, with an Audible membership, you too can download titles and listen offline anytime, anywhere. What's great about Audible is you also get full access to their popular Plus catalog. It's filled with thousands and thousands of audiobooks, guided fitness and meditation, sleep tracks for better rest, and not to mention those podcasts. And it includes ad-free versions of your favorite shows and exclusive series. And all of that is included with your membership. You don't need any credits for that. Download and stream all you want. You know, I'm feeling the fantasy this time around, so I went with listening to Sabriel by Garth Nix and narrated by none other than Tim Curry. This story follows a sorcerer's daughter trying to find her father after he's gone missing inside the walls of the Old Kingdom. Now it's up to Sabriel and some friends she meets along the way to discover the mystery of her father's disappearance. So start listening with a free 30-day Audible trial and get full access to thousands and thousands of all-you-can-listen-to audiobooks, original entertainment, and podcasts included in the Plus catalog. Visit audible.com/Tolarian Community or text Tolarian Community to 500-500. Thank you, Audible, for sponsoring this video. Let's start with the quick overview. What the heck is Lorcana? Lorcana is a trading card game announced by Disney in which players will take on the role of planeswalkers. Illumineers. Is that really what they're called? Wow, that's really what they're called. Illumineers. To battle one another with various characters from the Disney Vault of Capitalism. So far, card previews include Mickey Mouse, Elsa, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Maleficent, and Tappy Toe Claus. The game is being published by Ravensburger, who also brought us the Disney board game Villainous. Now, I actually own a few versions of Villainous. It's actually a pretty fun game, although it skews a lot more towards each player racing to win their own game of solitaire than I might like. But certainly, if you've never seen Villainous, the game pieces, the artwork, all the various components, I feel are really great quality. It is fun, and you should check it out. And it's almost got collector pieces in and of itself. Which brings me to my first point. It's my belief that Lorcana will likely be a collector game first, and a game that you actually play, be it casually or Walt willing competitively, last. Now, TCGs that are collected more than they are played are nothing new. A great example of this is the Pokemon TCG, though they do have a healthy and still growing competitive scene. But the vast majority of Pokemon TCG players aren't players so much as collectors, first and foremost. Now, I do not want to diminish the very real, very popular, and very fun game of Pokemon TCG. I actually like playing it a lot, but I do think that it is most likely that Lorcana will go a similar route, where people are going to want these cards, but primarily to collect, as Disney characters and Disney IP is indeed big business. But the type of people who will flock to buy, say, Disney pins and other collectibles aren't exactly the type likely to sit down and give a competitive card game a try. Nor either are the established players of Magic the Gathering, Pokemon TCG, Flesh and Blood, Digimon, or even Yu-Gi-Oh! Going to be too keen to simply swap one card game for another, as there's more to being a TCG player than just the rules text. I absolutely think Lorcana will have good sales as a collectible, but that doesn't necessarily translate to it being played by the people collecting it. And as far as players are concerned, I doubt very much that many of the established ones of Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, or even Flesh and Blood are going to be too keen to simply swap one card game for another, as there's more to being a TCG player than just the rules text. One of the oldest sayings about Magic the Gathering is that if it were simply rules text on cards without art, then it would never be played, and that's very true. It's the rich, vibrant, exciting world of Magic the Gathering that sparks our imagination and immersion and makes that amazing text mean something as we play our favorite cards. The same is true for Pokémon. No one is going to abandon their Charizard for Elsa because it's the Pokémon themselves that hold a huge attraction to players and even to the collectors. Now, I'm not saying migrations from one game to another don't happen. They do, and for all we know, they will happen here, but I doubt it will be significant because of the stronghold these properties have on their audience already. And while I know casual is all the rage in Magic the Gathering right now, I think it is wrong to dismiss the importance of a vibrant competitive scene for many TCGs. And for the longest time, this was the key to Magic's success and longevity, and may again be. But if Lorcana can't establish a large and growing competitive circuit, it's going to have a hard time creating a sort of community for kitchen table casual games. After all, Magic's current Commander community was largely formed from the, I'm gonna just say, ashes of our pro circuit. A great example of the importance of a competitive scene to a TCG is Flesh and Blood, who, while I suppose it could be argued, did pick up a non-zero amount of disenfranchised Magic players by, in many ways, picking up what Magic did leave on the table, namely the dismantling of that Pro Tour and dismantling of competitive play. But I don't feel it's fair to just look at Flesh and Blood and their thriving competitive events as a conduit for former Magic players, though, while they certainly embody a lot of what was great about the old GP circuit and Pro Tour system, I have found more and more that the players of Flesh and Blood did not just come over from Magic and instead were organically drawn to the game through the community and, yes, the competition at those events. That those events create. That is how Magic the Gathering grew for so many years, by just word of mouth, and Flesh and Blood is doing that now too. Lorcana, I worry, is going to be stifled by the built-in collector audience who I feel are going to be less inclined to play in major competitions, and players of other games will do the dance we've all seen before. Check out the game, talk about it for a week, go back to the game they've been playing for, and will continue to play for years. But there is one thing that has me worried about Lorcana as a Magic the Gathering player, and that's how many people mistook Lorcana cards for Magic the Gathering cards when the first previews began. Sure, there was a lot of joking about this, even I got in on the fun, but it soon dawned on me that many Magic the Gathering players were serious when they mistook these cards for Magic the Gathering cards. And that worries me. Now, I'm not worried about Lorcana unseating Magic. Of course not. That's ridiculous. But I am worried about Magic working to unseat itself. As we go through secret layer after secret layer, showcase after showcase, universe after universe, it is possible that Magic is oversaturating itself with myriad designs and templates to a point where Magic cards have no cohesion, less of a look and feel that distinguishes them as Magic cards. I think it's critical to Magic the Gathering that a Magic the Gathering card is instantly recognized as a Magic the Gathering card, and that a game that is not Magic the Gathering is recognized as not Magic the Gathering. Think of it this way. If a Magic card can look like anything and can feature anything, which these days it can, then in some ways does that not mean that a Magic card doesn't have its own look, doesn't feature a style or even world of its own, maybe even in just a small degree? Don't get me wrong, I love showcase art, and I'm mostly okay with secret layers. And as for Universes Beyond, well, I love showcase art, but I do feel that it is healthy to give a critical eye to things that you love, and Disney's Lorcana's similarity of look and feel to present-day wacky new Magic cards makes me wonder about just what Magic's identity is becoming. But hey, that only goes back to my original point that only Magic the Gathering could ever truly unseat Magic the Gathering, and despite videos joking otherwise, I do not think Magic the Gathering is dead, dying, or even diminishing in the slightest today, tomorrow, or anytime soon. Lorcana may take hold like Flesh and Blood managed, but it is also possible that it will come and go the way of many other new TCGs on the block. But now I want to hear from you. Are you interested in Disney's Lorcana? And if so, and I'm especially interested in this next part, what is it that interests you? That's what interests me. What interests you interests me. Why? Why are you interested in Lorcana? To collect? To see what the game is like? Both? That's a good sign for the game. Let me know in the comments below. And do you think that there is a game that could ever unseat Lorcana? And if you are interested in other games, I've got a wide series of how to plays on everything from Runeterra to, Flesh and Blood, Digimon. And I don't really think all of these different titles and games are necessarily in competition with one another. It's possible to love and play many things. So maybe, in the end, Lorcana will both succeed by itself without really doing any damage to Magic the Gathering. Hey, thanks again to Audible for sponsoring this video. You know, you can start listening today with a free 30-day Audible trial, and you get full access to thousands, and I mean thousands, of all you can listen to audiobooks, original entertainment, and podcasts included in the Prime catalog. Visit audible.com/Tolarian Community or text Tolarian Community to 500-500. Thanks, Audible, for sponsoring this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
Today, bring your favorite or one of your most favorite commander decks.
I have brought my dear beloved Grimgrin.
Brought the Mimeoplasm. And I brought Noyan Dawn.
And so I ask everyone to take their deck and please pass it to the right.
Of course. I want, this deck to win, specifically because it's mine.
But how would you feel if I killed you with your deck?
What does my commander do?
He's getting a better draw than I've ever gotten out of that deck. What do you want me to do?
The thing is he's good at Magic, and that's usually not the case.
Oh, good. A land that comes into play untapped, unlike every other land in this deck.
I'm like a proud father watching his son take his first steps.
Lady Luck smiles upon a British man.
Yeah.
Don't meow.